Didn't talk much about the service except for just small little adventures that we got out of him. About his ship that was sunk and he had to be in the ocean for a little bit of time. And but I was able to look up the 4th Marine Division. It was actually kind of amazing the service that they provided. They were formed as a totally new division right as the war broke out, and they were sent out to Kwajalein, which is Roy Namor, and they took two islands there, some pretty significant fighting, and then they moved on to Hawaii. Had a little break in Maui. All of us would have loved to have that break. I'm sure Grandpa enjoyed that one. Except for the conditions there were actually pretty miserable. They had tent camps, mud up to their ankles and knees, so it was pretty rough. And then they prepared themselves for, I think it was Saipan next, right? It was Saipan, and Saipan, it was amazing to read. And the part that I read was a history of the 4th Division, and they had the bloodiest battles in Saipan, and his division, his regiment was the first ones to land on the island, so they were always the first ones in. So I thought it was amazing. Excuse me. I thought it was amazing that going through those battles, that he just mentioned that he went through Saipan, Tinian, and then during those 2 battles, and they were pretty gruesome, and he ended up with a couple scratches, and I thought that was pretty amazing. And it wasn't until Iwo Jima that he was wounded. So, and Iwo Jima, as all of us have read the history of Iwo Jima, it was pretty rough. I'm grateful that my grandpa was able to survive those. And I can only imagine the sacrifice he made, and the friends he lost. So from there, unfortunately, his division, the 4th Marine Division, was mustered out in, what did I say, November? It was November 1945? October 1945, he was mustered out. And unfortunately, he was wounded in Iwo Jima, and he was unable to come back to Camp Pendleton, their home base, to be with his regiment at the same time, and his group. So and then as you read through the history of the 4th Marine Division, and especially the 24th Regiment, 24th Regiment, and it was the 3rd Division?
3rd Battalion.
3rd Battalion. The 3rd Battalion, if you go through and read them, just look them up on Wikipedia when you have some time. It's actually quite amazing. They had the presidential, I think it was the presidential citations, right? They were given two presidential citations. The Navy unit combination. They had the Asiatic Pacific Award, and then the Victory Medal too. So, and then in that group, which was even more amazing to me, was the amount of Medal of Honor winners. I can't remember the number, but it was significant. There were 6 on Iwo Jima alone, which was amazing to me. When you look up the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd divisions, there wasn't that much historical information on them versus the 4th. And then you had out of the division, there were, I think it was 9,000 soldiers were either wounded or killed on Iwo Jima alone. So it was pretty significant. But I'm grateful for his service and for his sacrifice that he made on the islands.
Thank you, John.